I'm a little, I'm a little excited that we did not have more tornadic activity than we had. It really wasn't expected to be that bad. We're getting pretty much what we expected, but it's just that sigh of relief that, okay, wind and rain, and maybe I'm falling into that too, because regular wind along this boundary can be just as damaging as a tornadic wind, but there's just something about the tornado watches expiring. We still have a tornado watch in northeast. I think it's still in effect. Yeah, tornado watch still in effect for northeast Alabama, but I think we're going to see that allowed to expire fairly quickly. And it's supposed to be in effect for another hour. That probably is going to expire fairly quickly. And our severe thunderstorm watch is in effect until 5 a.m. And I am sure we're going to see parts of that expire well before 5 a.m. The line moving into Bradley County, we're going to hover on that for a minute. McMinn County, it's not as bad. The rain is not as bad. The wind is pretty kicking, though. So you're probably getting some nice strong winds. It's in western McMinn County now. It's moving across the interstate, across I-75, and moving into Athens. And again, we're talking about wind, just general straight wind. Those winds probably up to 40, 50 miles per hour. And there you go. It's in Athens right now. Not only that wind, but also that rain is starting to move into Athens. And look, Ooltewah-Ringgold absolutely hammered with heavy rain right now, stretching northward into Bradley County. And all of that's moving toward you in Cleveland. On Facebook, we had so many people from Cleveland. When is it going to get here? What's it going to be like? Well, this is a severe thunderstorm warning. It's in effect until 3:30, so 25 more minutes. And that is going to be moving into Cleveland proper within the next 10 to 15 minutes. So be ready for that. If you remember Future Scan, I think it had it moving through at about 3:15 through Cleveland. So definitely be ready for that. And I'm going to ask if you could do me a quick favor. Could you go get a cup of water? That would be amazing. Thank you so much. And I don't know, Clay may want one too. Thank you. And I was saying this on Facebook, but there is, you see me and you see Clay. There are about 10 people that have been here all night, overnight, helping put all of this information out to you guys. And it's an amazing staff here at Local 3. Amazing. Okay, so Ooltewah, Appleton, pretty much the same heavy rain. We're going to click on this to see what it tells us about the storm, if it tells us anything interesting. Not really, a fairly low BTI number. The BTI numbers where we had tornadoes confirmed were in the 4s, 4.5s. So when I see one of 2.6, I'm not that concerned. We're going to go check a couple of other things. These are the areas that this is going to move through within the next 30 minutes. So you can check that out. And let's look at this cell just a little bit, or this line a little bit. So yeah, we've got a nice little line of wind, and I'm also looking at this where the shear is a little bit heavier, and that is where we are probably also getting some pretty gusty winds just south of Decatur, moving through McMinn County. Are we getting any hail? Yes, so this one has not only been producing, and I think I heard hail on our roof, and I believe I did, because you can see. So this storm has also been a hail producer. So not only have we been dealing with heavy rain, wind, but also hail within this storm. And that is another feature. Thank you so much, Ryan. Appreciate you. It's another feature of a severe thunderstorm. It can be wind gusts in excess of 60 miles per hour. It can be hail that's falling, and when you have the wind, you have the hail, then you definitely have a severe thunderstorm. It doesn't have to have a tornado involved, but it definitely has, and we're going to take one more look at that, and is still likely producing hail. So that's another thing as it's moving into Cleveland, moving out of Ooltewah. Cleveland, you may be getting not just torrential rain, some gusty winds, but you also may be getting some hail along with that as well. Clay?
Well, David, here's a look at our highest wind gust over the last, let's say, hour or so. A gust was registered at 67 miles per hour at the Chattanooga Airport, nearly 40-mile-per-hour gust in Cleveland, over 45-mile-per-hour gust in Dayton, and nearly a 50-mile-per-hour gust in Fort Payne. And again, this is just point-by-point location, so some areas could have gusts, exceeding 60, 70 miles per hour. And that's what we had officially at the Chattanooga Airport. So some very, very strong winds rolling through at this hour. Power outages, not too bad right now. Over 300 customers without power in Hamilton County. But other than that, not registering any outages across the rest of the Tennessee Valley. But again, these numbers likely to start increasing as these winds really start to roll through. So let's take a look, at some of these warnings. Fortunately, no active tornado warnings, but these severe thunderstorm warnings just as dangerous as we're having gusts over 60 to even 70 miles per hour. So again, McMinn County, a severe thunderstorm warning, that's about to move right over 75 into that northern section of the county. So Athens, go ahead and find your storm safe place. Gusts upwards of 60 miles per hour are going to be possible in your neck of the woods here shortly. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning encompassing all of Bradley County. Now, fortunately for us here in Chattanooga, the threat has now pushed off to the east, same for Pikeville, Dunlap, and down into Red Bank. So Hamilton County, Bledsoe, Sequatchie, Marion, Grundy, all relieved of the severe threat. Now, if you're in Polk County, it's heading your way. Cherokee County is heading your way. Again, that severe thunderstorm watch still in effect. But again, Cleveland, you're about to be under this severe thunderstorm warning as it is moving very quickly. In fact, the bulk of the storm now moving right over Cleveland. And as we take a look at that shear rate, again, where you have those lighter greens, that's where we're having some of that strong wind, and that's about to move in from Athens, extending southbound, really right along I-75 right now. That's where some of the strongest winds are located. And as we kind of zoom into Bradley County, again, this is right over Cleveland, just off to the east of Ooltewah, moving towards Benton, Ocoee, Ducktown, Turtletown. Again, I'd say within the next 30, 40 minutes, this is going to be right over that eastern portion of Polk County. We also have active severe thunderstorm warnings for northern Whitfield, now extending into Murray County. So as we kind of take a look at the shear across northwest Georgia, again, where you have the lighter greens, that's likely where we're having some of those gusts upwards of 60 miles per hour. So fortunately, as this line is pushing to the east, we're not seeing as much rotation with these severe thunderstorm warning. So that's certainly good news, but again, the winds are still very strong, and again, we have those severe thunderstorm warnings now extending into Murray, northern Whitfield, Catoosa, and that eastern portion of Walker County. A special weather statement for Chattooga County with wind gusts upwards of 40 miles per hour. So again, still some very strong winds moving across northwest Georgia. So if you're in Dalton, Chatsworth, Calhoun, you still want to go ahead and find your storm safe place, because even though there's not a tornado warning, these gusts can produce a damage, and we've already had some trees down on homes back into northeast Alabama, and of course this line is racing very quickly. So if you're to the east, into Dalton, Chatsworth, again, Calhoun, any of these points in and around northwest Georgia, you want to go ahead and find that storm safe place, especially if you're in one of these blinking yellow boxes. David?
All right, Clay, thank you so much. And now looking at that line of really heavy rain, gusty winds, and hail moving into Cleveland proper, and we're going to focus in on that for just a second. You can see the history of this storm. Basically, I can scroll back and you'll see that all of those pink pixelated icons just kind of scrolling away. As the storm moved to the northeast, it was dumping hail out of it, and that's what it continues to do. So if you're in Cleveland, boy, I hope the car is in the garage. You're looking at some small hail falling, you're looking at torrential rain, and you're also looking at gusty winds to beat the band. So all of that is moving through, and let me scroll up a little bit, and you'll see that extends somewhat down to Ringgold and to Cohutta. We've seen a little bit of hail moving through parts of Dade and Walker County, also over Chattanooga and Red Bank. So that has been an issue with this one section of the line that's been moving through. And that moving through right now, Cleveland, Tennessee. So Cleveland, there you go. You wait about another 5-10 minutes, and this is already going to be east of you. Next up is going to be Benton and Ocoee. Will we see this severe thunderstorm warning extended further east? Well, if we look to the north, we can see that in this portion up toward Knoxville down to Madisonville, it has been extended east. Would not be surprised at all. Actually, I would be a little bit surprised if it wasn't extended east in this section at least, moving southward down toward, we've got Whitfield County, Murray County on eastward, severe thunderstorm warning for you, and that's until 3:45. So until 3:45, that severe thunderstorm warning is in place. So we're going to keep an eye on all of this. We're looking at down toward Lafayette. Still a severe thunderstorm warning. This particular one just north of Valley Head, we're pretty much done with that one. And it's not a severe thunderstorm warning in Tryon, Somerville, Lyerly, but you do have a special weather statement where you're not just going to be getting the rain, but you'll be getting winds of about 30 to 40 miles per hour, wind gusts, I should say. Lafayette, a lot of heavy rain. Tunnel Hill, Varnell, Cohutta, there is that strong, strong line of rain and hail and wind. So that's kind of what we're parking on for right now. Not seeing anything that's producing rotation at all. That's good news, nor do I expect to see that. At this point, I'm expecting to see what we're seeing, and that is rain, that is hail, that is wind. And the wind and the hail are in splotchy areas. We move northward, and in this severe thunderstorm warning, still over 10-mile Decatur, Nyota, until 3:30, I'm not seeing much impressive there at all. I'll click on the shear rate, not much there. Base velocity, not much there. There's not much there. Reflectivity, there's some rain. So Nyota, Athens, Decatur, 10-mile, not too much going on for you for the next 15 minutes. Hang in there, and you're going to be fine. Moving into Bradley County, where we still have, this is where we still have just, that's very severe thunderstorm warning worthy right there. Again, not just the heavy rain, but we can click on our hail swath and see where this has been a very substantial hail producer. Doesn't mean that this was just a constant barrage of hail, but there was definitely hail falling within some of the cores of this, a core of this thunderstorm as it moved to the northeast. Not only that, but a lot of torrential lightning as well. So now we're seeing it moving to the east of Cleveland. And Benton, Etowah, you are up next, as is Chatsworth, Dalton, all of this moving eastward. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go until, and I'm kind of audibling this so people in the control room can hear, we're going to go until about 3:30, and then we're going to let Clay pick it up on Facebook. By 3:30, I think this is going to be well east enough so that it's going to be not much of an issue, no tornado threat at all. I think we could comfortably say that at 3:30, and we'll see some of these severe thunderstorm warnings be allowed to expire. You can see them falling off already across much of the area. So that's great news. We look in the history of this storm system so far and all of the storm warnings, storm reports, and just a lot of wind damage reports, flooding reports. We did have a swath of tornadoes, tornado reports that came in. This one likely from the same tornado. We had another one or two up here. And now for our area, it is all about the rain. The good news is a lot of people are asleep and sleeping through all of this. Once they wake up, it's going to be gone. It'll be fine. It's actually going to be a really great day. It's still going to be windy, but we're going to warm into the mid to upper 70s. Mostly sunny this afternoon. It's going to be great. You'll love it. But again, we do have, and here's a brand new severe thunderstorm warning. This one in effect until 4:15, and that is expected. That doesn't shock me even in the least. And just watching, it's all the same kind of a thing from Cleveland stretching down Whitfield County, Cohutta, Varnell. You're on the backside of this now. And let me put this into motion for just a second. And Clay, have you heard any storm reports or anything that's come over Facebook or email?
That's what I am looking at right now. A lot of people reporting strong winds, a lot of heavy rain. I'm going to see if we have anything in our inbox. Let's see. Don and Trenton recorded a 56-mile-per-hour wind gust. A lot of heavy rain. In fact, our producer, Cameron Wilson, just texted me. He said it got rowdy in North Chattanooga near Normal Park. Said a lot of strong, yeah, a little rowdy, a lot of strong winds. And also, here's a look at the latest power outages if you wanted to switch over to
put on Links
one.
1. Yeah.
So.
Oh, wow. Okay, there you go. There you go, Chattanooga, Hamilton County.
But yeah, if you guys have any storm reports, please send them in. You can put it in our Facebook inbox or send it into weather@local3news.com. And we are starting to get some of those reports. So as we get those in, I'll try to post those out to social media. David?
Yeah, and we're looking at a couple of things here. We're looking at the hail and the lightning, and you can see how the hail has just followed, especially with that one section of the storm, just followed a definite path. Even to this point, moving through Cleveland, producing and dropping hail. So if you were in downtown Cleveland, you probably got some hail along with that rain and along with that wind. And now it is east of Cleveland, and we are seeing it moving over toward Benton, and they're tightening up that severe thunderstorm warning also, just kind of following that line right along with it. So moving out of Bradley County, and I said 3:30. I tell you what, we're going to go ahead and take us back to regular programming. This is now moving into Polk County. Before we do, just be ready. In about 5 minutes, we'll head on to regular programming. And moving into Polk County, Camp Ocoee, within the next 10 minutes, you're going to see that moving in. Hearing some good thunder over Chattanooga right now. And again, I do want to point out, that's the main line. The main line is off to the east, but we still have lots and lots of showery, thundery, even breezy weather that's going to continue to move through for the next few hours. So until about 7 o'clock, then we'll really start to even see the rain, any rain out there, gone. And I'm saying 7 at the latest. The last model data that I looked at about 6 hours ago was showing that, or about 4 hours ago. So from this point on, that line of heavy rain is going to continue to move. It's moving into Chatsworth right now. We'll focus on Chatsworth for just a second. Notice you're getting the rain. The shear rate, not that impressive. Yes, it's windy, but it's not severe wind. I don't think you're getting 60-mile-per-hour winds out of that, but it's still fairly gusty. So everyone continue to be safe for the next couple of hours. What we're going to do is switch this over to Facebook. If you want to go to, is it on your Facebook page, Clay?
Yeah, it's going to be streaming on the Local 3 page, my page, and it looks like it kicked us out again, so I'm about to...
Okay. So go to Local 3 Weather, Local 3 News, or Clay Smith 3. And... And you'll be able to continue to follow. He's going to be with you for the next probably hour. And then he's, I think, going to do the morning show. So, guys, thank you for tuning in. Hope everybody stayed safe. Hope appropriately and effectively and safely. And I appreciate you guys trusting Local 3 News to help keep you safe in these storms. So we'll go back to regular programming. And make sure you check us out on Facebook.